but I found some human remains. Impossible to ID without lab work.
That can't be done. His life signs are a little unusual, but he's definitely alive. He's gotta be around there somewhere.
I'll keep looking.
Hello YouTubers, Max18363 here, and this is part 6 of the F.E.A.R saga. So this first enemy that we're about to come across here, you'll see him in just 2 seconds. I think it's really cool the way that his shadow sort of reflects on the wall there. I think that's really a nice touch, and I think a lot of people have different ways of taking this guy out. I generally just roundhouse kick him into the Stone Age, because it's the most fun. Bang! That's what I call kicking somebody's teeth in. Ooh, little joke there. But no, that's a nice little touch, that. So this level is obviously entitled Heavy Resistance, and I'm guessing you can put 2 and 2 together there. We're going to get into some heavy firefights here. Tactically, this level offers some new challenges. This level's a bit more open than the other ones. This fight we're about to get into now, there's actually 2 ways you can do that. I'm taking the little passage to the right here, as it usually allows you to get a better angle on a lot of the enemies, because they know you're coming, they know you're there. So taking this route is usually just tactically more sound. I make a bit of a meal of it though, because I kind of get spotted a bit too early. But I make it work, because I'm cool. That's the AI at work for you there. They'll always try and flank you whenever they can. It's one of the reasons I like this level, because it is a little more open. There are a couple of ways you can do it. After all, what use is a flanking AI if it's just stuck in corridors all the time? So I really like the fact that they kind of opened up this level a bit. I mean, to be clear, when I say they opened the level up, that's not to say it's freeform or anything like that. It is still linear. There's just usually a couple of different ways you can go. But this last guy was a right pain in the arse. Talk about having to fish him out, my goodness. But it's also a nice touch from the AI, because usually if they realise they're on their own, they usually will do that, run for their lives. I think it's cool that they have a sense of preservation. I think it's good that in this game you're not just fighting a group of individuals that happen to be together, you're actually fighting the squad, you're fighting the team as a whole. And when there's 4 or 5 of them, they'll come at you, but when they're on their own, they will retreat. They will seek cover.
New message.
Hey man, I heard something crazy is happening over there. You alright? Let me know. We're still on for Friday, right? Call me back, bro. I hope you're alright.
End of messages.
So I was talking about how this level offers tactically a tougher firefight, which is basically this one coming up here. It's outside, but there's a lot of catwalks, there's a lot of high grounds, there's a lot of different ways that they can flank you. It is a bit of a nightmare actually, there's just so many different ways that they can get to you, but it's fun, it's cool. We'll also get our hands on a shotgun soon, finally. The awesome shotgun.
Man, what's the sit rep?
It's always good to use the high ground to your advantage here whenever you can. For that reason, it's harder for them to get grenades at you. Continuing my topic of enemies, I noticed a lot of reviews in this game, some of the negatives that people highlighted in this game was that combat was repetitive because you're fighting essentially the same enemy right the way through the game, these clone soldiers. But that's a pretty ridiculous thing to say because by essence a lot of shooters are repetitive. And a lot of the time the enemies you're fighting are repetitive. You could say that about Medal of Honors, you could say that about a lot of the Call of Duties that have come out recently. Are you not just fighting the same enemy all the way through the game? They might have different uniforms on, but they're the same, so I don't think that argument really holds water, to be honest with you. And very few shooters really capture just how fun it is to shoot bad guys with guns, because let's be honest, it's awesome. And that's one thing that F.E.A.R really excels in. The joy of blasting a gun into a goon's face. And if that makes me sound like a bit of a psycho, well then, sorry. But in my opinion, F.E.A.R is just the most awesome gun-fu game that there is. I don't even know if that's a word. And to be fair, you don't just fight clone soldiers all the way through. There are a few other enemies in the game, the ATC security forces, which are essentially just reskinned clone soldiers. There's the silent ninja assassins, and I'm not really sure how to describe this. There's I think it's called the Eve, which is basically just a robot android that fires big rockets at you. But that doesn't feature until a little later in the game. So there are a few other enemies, it's not just clone soldiers. To be fair, I'll be honest, perhaps F.E.A.R, producers Monolith, they could have maybe mixed it up a little more. But I don't agree that it's repetitive or it's just the same enemies. I've never really agreed with any of the reviews on that topic. Because by nature all shooters are slightly repetitive, but it's the combat itself that I think drives it forward. I wouldn't say it's the story that drives shooters forward, because let's be honest, people generally don't play shooters for their stories. It's usually for the combat, if you want.
According to police, an explosion that leveled a dockside warehouse this evening was most likely the result of an industrial accident. No injuries have been reported, but emergency workers are still on the scene.
Oh, it sounds so dramatic, those newscasts. Emergency workers are still on the scene. I mean, of course, I would like to add that, everything I've said in this video is just my opinion. I'm just putting it out there. So I've just kind of noticed the timer. I can pretty much run out of time for this one. So until the next time, peace out.